My name is Aden Aw Hassan. I'm the Director of Social Sciences at ICARDA. Well, Central Asia situation in terms of climate change is very interesting. First, the projections are that there will be an increased temperature of 2.6 up to 2.6 degrees centigrade, and there hasn't been much studies in terms of studies which are connecting the effect of climate change at the local, national, and subnational levels. There are some global studies, but those do not take into consideration to local conditions. If you do not consider the whole farm analysis in terms of risk, understanding of how farmers manage risk, the problem is that you may be actually missing the target, because farmers, what they do is when they are dealing with any uncertainty or climate change or any other uncertainty, they basically manage their expected risks by reducing the activity which has a high risk, even if it has a high returns, and increase the activity which has a low risk, so that they basically hedge against each other, those different activities, so that they can minimize. So if you do it without considering this, you could actually you'll miss the target and either overestimate or underestimate the effects of climate change on farm level. Let us say that, for example, cotton is a very risky activity, while wheat is not so risky. So the farmers, what they will do, instead of having a larger area of cotton, which may have a higher income and a higher risk, and a lower area of let us say wheat, which may have a lower lower risk but a lower income, they will actually kind of balance those two activities. It's like similar to, maybe you can say, stock market. You can manage your higher risk activity and a lower risk and activity. It's very clear from the study that in Central Asia, the impact of climate change on the farm income or the whole household income at the farm level varies according to many different factors. For example, it depends on agroecology, and it depends on the socio-economic conditions. For example, in northern of Kazakhstan, where the temperature, a longer growing season is beneficial, farmers will benefit. But in the lower area, where you may face either a water shortage or a much higher temperature than crops can tolerate, you will actually see a greater negative impact on income. So it depends on the conditions. It also depends on the socioeconomic conditions in terms of policies. If the policy environment is flexible enough to allow farmers to manage these different activities, the effect will be lower. But if the farmers are operating under a policy regime which is very strict and very limited, and they cannot make these changes, then the impact will be much greater. Yeah, there are a number of ways which are definitely policy support and institutional and flexibility for in terms of finance and prices of the commodities will help. But the most importantly, technologies like water management and land management could play a great role in using water and land resources much more efficiently and minimizing the effects of climate change.